Hello everyone and welcome to the Gunpla Network. I'm the Spicer and this is the finale of part 1 or core 1 or season 1 of Mobile Suit Gundam The Witch from Mercury, and this finale is ridiculous. I have been beside myself in how just, like, you thought the prologue was good or like serious and grim. This cranks that shit to 11. It is crazy. Yeah, this episode's just nuts. Like, I just watched it. I didn't make any notes because I just, like, literally was losing it at the end of this episode. So, I'm just gonna run through like, this series of emotions, I guess. Anyway, so we pick up right where we left off. Girl Boss Stelling and Suletta get separated, and everything kind of seems the same, but we get to kind of continue on to what Crazy Lady does here. And I don't know what the thought process here is, but she uses her, like, beam gatling to destroy, like, the section that Suletta and Girl Boss Stelling are in. It doesn't do anything, but I guess they just wanted more video of, or more animation of the, that Lefirth shooting. Anyway, she's crazy, big explosions. Then we get the Ariel and, Lady Prospera, her sidekick, and either some random maintenance person, or I think it's the lady from Elon's group. I can't remember what they're, Pale. But I'm not 100% sure. We don't see her face, and we don't see her again in this episode, so I don't know if she made it to... No, I don't think she's on the Earth ship yet, so we'll probably find out next season. But they're all like, we gotta hang out by the Ariel, so when Suletta gets here, we can do that. Then we get the OP. Still good, but this episode really, like, it takes that school stuff and it's like, nope, now this is serious now. And it does it in a very good way, I feel. Like, it feels like a logical progression versus like, oh, people didn't like this, we're getting rid of it. So yeah, we go into some serious stuff, and, like, very legitimately, everyone freaks out. Like, there's a lot of this in Gundam, but a lot of people in Gundam also just really keep their cool. And this, it's like every single person, save for maybe Lady Prospera, is like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? We have no idea, this is terrible. And it's just pure chaos throughout the episode. The Earth crew's like, what's going on? And then they see ships just start getting blown up. They're like, oh no, what do we do? Because they don't have, like, any guns on their ship. It's just a transport ship. They're just students. And I don't even know that they have another mobile suit on their ship, so they're literally just sitting ducks. You see the Gwell, or the Jeturk ship here with Gwell's daddy, and he's like, I'm going to take my own mobile suit out, which is weird because I don't know that he's ever been a pilot, but we'll find out. Anyway, he's big angry. He looks very upset. He also tells his, like, right hand that he's not going to let the Grassley brat make a fool of him or something. Which is super weird, because you wouldn't think you would share the conspiracy to, like, kill the president of your organization with anyone, but especially, like, the entire bridge of your ship. But that seems kind of like this guy's thing. Anyway, so they launch some Michaelises, like we had seen with Shadiq a couple episodes ago. And you're like, oh, cool, that we're going to see them go up against the Gundams. The Gundam Lefirth don't stand a chance, but of course, you know, they have to. And we get to see about that. So we get more destruction, and we get to see the kind of Earth rebel people coordinating and fighting off, like, the garrison defense forces of the plant. And this lady, who I don't remember her name, and I don't think it matters. I mean, she's going to show up in the second season, but the Amuro of the two new pilots, pure crazy, and I feel like everyone's gonna either, like, love this chick in the second season or absolutely loathe her, and I think I'm on the loathing side right now. But she goes to take on the Michaelises. Then Girl Boss Stelling, who is, like, very freaked out, runs into Dad Delling, and he's like, hey, you gotta put a normal suit on. Are you crazy? What's wrong with you? And yeah, so they go about their thing. The Michaelises go after this throne. Lefirth Thorn, I think? I don't know why they make me think of the throne units from Gundam 00. They kind of do. They look nothing alike, but it's just the vibe, I guess. Anyway, the Michaelises team up and use the antidote system, and it actually works for like a second. And you're like, oh, this is crazy. They're done. And they, the Amuro pilot lady, everyone says she looks like Amuro. She has nothing to do with Amuro, but uses permit score 4, which we've never seen. Like, I think maybe Alon, when he gets in the aerial, tries to go higher. Not than that, but like tries to go like permit 2 or 3. But I don't think we've ever seen anyone go permit 4. I could be wrong. He might have done that in the duel with the aerial. But she's got this cool little like vent thing on the back of the Firth, but she also looks psychotic. Like, her eyes turn red for some reason. And she's like, I'm having a heart attack, but I'm not dead. It's like, oh, okay, that seems kind of sus, but okay. But yeah, you kind of see the little thing there on the back, and it, I guess, works the same way the antidote system, but reverse. So that's kind of cool. Then she just destroys the rest of those Michaelises. Apparently, physical munitions are banned in this universe by some kind of treaty. And the Spatians are like, yo, that's kind of messed up. And then they get shot in the back by a beam. So it's like, okay, whatever. Anyway, so the little chicken leg Lefirth here is doing some work. The Camille pilot, if you will. And they're all doing their planning thing. They've got more mobile suits they're launching that have troop carriers. And Suletta's got to John McClane it up and go through the vents. Then an explosion happens. Girl Boss Delling is like, whoa, what happened? And then Dad Delling gets stabbed in the back by some shrapnel. Whether or not he lives is hard to say, but judging by the rest of the episode, I imagine he's probably going to survive. But if he also dies off screen, it wouldn't be that surprising. Girl Boss Delling's going through it this episode. Like, we see like a really interesting departure between Girl Boss Delling and Suletta, where Girl Boss Delling is constantly like, I'm the headstrong one, yada yada yada, I'm the leader, I'm kind of like, I'm angry but I'm composed, I'm doing my thing, whereas Suletta's like very awkward and uncomfortable and kind of just fumbling about all the time. We see a big shift here. Anyway, she's like, okay, I'm going to save you, Delling Dad. And he mentions something about the wife that is dead that Girl Boss Delling's been all mad about. But we don't really know. He says something, but it's more of like, oh, maybe these are like his last moments. So he's just saying things, but they don't make a lot of sense. So I assume we'll find out more in the second season. But yeah, they find the aerial Gundam. The troop transports arrive. They're all these kind of generic space guys, and like the prologue, this kind of an interesting inverse of the prologue. They're just moving through and just capping everyone they see. They don't even care. It's like, you're just some jobber on a phone trying to escape. Not you're getting got. Which is like, this is a massive facility. You can't kill everyone in this facility. Like, even one of the blocks of this facility seems like a stretch, but whatever. Anyway, the Earth kids are like, yo, we got to get out of here. They're destroying all of the ships. They don't want anyone to escape. This lady looks like she's having a heart attack. This was poor child. Then the chicken leg Lefirth is like, uh-oh, that's an escape ship. I gotta destroy it. But Nika's like, nope, here's the signal, please don't destroy us. And it works. But this dude's like, yo, what was that? And then you get the very uncomfortable, like, zoom in, zoom out effect at the same time, where it kind of like deepens the depth of field, but also kind of flattens it. You've seen it in other things, I'm sure, but it's a very interesting effect, but makes like that moment of like it hitting Nika that she just outed herself as a spy super problematic. It's like, it just hits her. It's really good, but you know, she did save everyone, so you know, good on her. We get to see Daddy Guel go out in his Dalan Soul, I think is what it's called, which just looks like it's got the 2 shields, and that's like the only big thing. He launches with some homies, I think it's like, yeah, 3 other guys down there, to take out the enemy ship, which, in case you forgot, because I super did, Guel is on said ship, so he's shooting at it, and he kind of skims one side of it, which messes with the doors, so like all the doors inside open, Not like the airlocks, but like the internal doors. So Gwell, who's been held captive, can escape, get out to a mobile suit. And like, there's so much in this episode. Oh my God. It's like, it's hard for me to just like consolidate down, and I probably should have for content, but I'm so hyped right now. I can't contain it. Anyway, like, for anyone that dropped off in the first few episodes of this show thinking it wasn't serious, it wasn't as good as the prologue, this moment, like this scene, this interaction with Gwell should sell you on everything, because this is like the most tragic Gundam thing of all time. So Gwell gets in a mobile suit to escape, and he's like, okay, I'm getting out of here. And you can even see that little like PTD purple yellow thing off of that little indicator over there. I think that's Gwell's dad, and we see him shoot at him, and he's like, oh no, oh god, what's happening? Because Gwell doesn't know that's his dad, and his dad doesn't know that that's Gwell. So they have this fight, and it's like, it's not super visually crazy, but just the stakes here of Gwell, like, I don't want to die, I can't die here, I need to get to the plant, I need to get to Soletta. And Gwell's dad, you don't see it from his perspective, you just see the panic on Gwell's face, which like really puts you in his perspective that he's doing this for survival, which isn't like a un-Gundam thing. Like, it's a pretty common thing, it's not that unique. But the fact that he has to fight his dad unknowingly, and like he gets pretty scuffed up. Like, I don't know that Gwell's probably gonna survive this, but Gwell's not gonna be in great shape. They have this fight, and he sacrifices the head of his mobile suit to get a blow in on what he doesn't know is his dad, with a physical weapon. I mean, not a beam weapon wouldn't do the same thing, but he impales his dad. He goes for the cockpit. Gwell is like, if I gotta survive, I'm gonna take someone out. Like, this guy cannot survive, or I'm dead. And so he does it, and then he gets a message, because I guess the direct contact, they can radio or whatever. And he sees his dad, and he's like, oh, I've been searching for you. Which is super weird, because like he sent him off. So I feel like that's like one last manipulation of like, oh, maybe if I kind of make him think he was valued to me, he'll do better. I don't know what the thought process on this man is, but he's like, I was searching for you. And Gwell just starts losing his mind. And this is one of the few instances I can think of where it's not a Kiriyamato situation, but like the force of the explosion does damage the mobile suit and send him further back. So he's drifting into space, having just killed his dad, and has this like massive mental breakdown. Like, if we see Gwell next season, dude is gonna be fucked up. Like, this is Camille watching his mom get crushed in space, but Camille doing it, right? This is wild. This episode this episode slaps. It's so good. Anyway, they're like, oh, we found the aerial Gundam. Yeah, you guys come and take it. Soletta's like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? And then she kicks, I don't know what, she makes a sound somehow. It's like she kicks a can or something. Like, there's just cans strewn about. Because this doesn't look like this part of the facility's been hit, so there shouldn't be like just shrapnel kicking around, but maybe it's like a shell casing or something. It doesn't matter. She makes a noise, and she's like, I'm fucking dead, bro. Like, look at her face. She's like, I'm about to die. And Lady Prospero walks in and just casually caps her and her assistant just shoot these three dudes. Like, it's mundane. It's just like, whatever. This is just, clocking in on a Monday. Let's go. And Soletta is freaking out. She's like, bro, you just killed those dudes. And she's like, yeah. So? Like, this war, girl, what you got? So, this is another, like, this episode, this series in general, but this episode has some of these nice, like, tweaks to Gundam stuff, where Gundam things, it's always like, I've got to protect my friends. I don't want to do the war thing unless it's Iron-Blooded Orphans. But here, Soletta's like, I don't want to kill people. That's like mad screwed up, bro. But her mom's like, listen, you got to kill people. It sucks, but you got to protect your friends. You got, like, her manipulating her into doing this is, I mean, valid. They would probably die either way, like otherwise. But like, you could tell this is all part of Lady Prospero's plan. And she's just like, Everything's going to plan. I'm going good. I'm vibing here. It's really good. But yeah, just that like manipulation. Like if Amuro's dad had survived and been like, Amuro, you gotta get in the Gundam and kill the dirty Zeons. That's basically what we're getting here, and it's a very interesting take, I feel. But it's like it just the gravity of this situation and how she is like talking to Suletta is just wild. Like it's super tone deaf, but I think that works for Lady Prospera because she's like, this is a Tuesday to me, guys. I've seen way worse than this. Anyway, so they have this big conversation. Suletta's like, okay, I guess I'll kill a bunch of people, Mom. Thanks for the pep talk. Like, look at it. She's so satisfied. She's like, aw, thanks, Mom. This pep talk's gonna definitely help me kill a bunch of people. Anyway, the whatever Lefirth this is, it doesn't matter. The blue one with the Gatling gun shows up. It's like, oh, I'm gonna take the aerial. And then the gun bits are activated. She's like, yo, what? And then, like, this is, like, the most menacing, like, I got some red glowy bits, what you got? And she comes out of the smoke and's like, didn't your mother ever teach you not to, I can't even remember what she says, but not to be rude, basically. And that's the most Suletta, like, girl, pick some better trash talk, please. But this new look for the aerial is pretty sick. It's very GPO1, I feel like the full Bernier. Pretty cool. I like it. Anyway, she, like, charges her out into space. They have a cool, like, these animations. Beam saber fight. It's pretty good. And, you know, she's doing permit score stuff. Then the chicken leg Lefirth shows up, does this big scatter beam. And Suletta's like, all right, I got a big gun too, which I don't know if I'm going to like how this shows up in model kit form. Guns like this always seem weird to me, so you can't really ever pose them right, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to just keep moving. Does this massive beam, like this is some, that is a desktop wallpaper, but does the, what is the big heavy gun from Gundam 00, I can't think of the name right now, but it does the big cannon thing. It doesn't even, like, it skims this guy, but I don't think it hits anything else that we see. But it does coincide with Dominicus showing up and, like, old Captain Man here being like, I had a bad feeling and it was right. But all the math, like the regular Michaelises, show up. So they're like, okay, we gotta peace out, whatever. And then they leave. And Shadiq gets the news, and Shadiq's face doesn't crack, so I'm like, was this his plan all along? Is he trying to start a war, or was this just him just, like, being in shock? It's hard to tell, but it feels like, knowing Shadiq, this was something he planned for. Then you get New Elon, who's like, oh, well, we should probably stay out of this, because that seems sus. And we get a good back shot of the aerial. Like, I like the little, like, fins that pop out of the backpack. That looks cool. Then she does this big, like, sensor sweep thing to try to find Girl Boss Stelling. And she does. And we got to get through the end here, which I don't know is as good as the OP, because I don't think I've ever fully watched the end. Anyway, probably the part that had me cackling, like, both in, like, laughter, but also just pure shock, is this. So we get Girl Boss Delling trying to save Dad Delling, and a soldier's like, well, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna take you with me, talking to Delling, not Girl Boss Delling, because he doesn't know who she is. But Suletta busts in. A terrible idea. Like, who's to say this room isn't, like, gonna decompress when you do this? But it doesn't matter. It's Gundam. Who cares? And she just slaps this bro. Like, this is Hellsing Ultimate, pieces of people flying all over the place. Like, that's the dude's arm. Just his arm. It's wild. It, like, 100% good on you, Girl Boss Delling, for being super shook at this, because this, I did not expect this to happen. Like, when I woke up, I spoiled myself a little bit with, like, this screenshot, and I was like, that's weird, maybe someone gets shot. Not, someone gets slapped to nothing. Like, this dude got straight splatted by the Gundam Aerial's hand, because Suletta's like, I will slap this man with my Gundam. And yeah, there's all the blood. Like, there's some grim. I love those little claw fingers, especially with the shot. Like, the aerial is scary, guys. And Suletta just, like, falls out of the cockpit. Like, I think she was trying to get down, but she, like, fell and falls into the blood. So, bitch is blood stained. Like, look at how much blood is coming off her hand. Bitch is soaked. Being like, hey, girl boss Stelling, what's good? And you can see just from this little bit, she is horrified. This is, like, Suletta, pure psychopath now. Like, hey, I know I just squished that guy and I'm covered in his blood, but yo, let's go. Let's hop in the aerial. It's just smiling. Like, I get that she's excited to see Girl Boss Stelling, but that face does not say excited to see you, ma'am. It is, oh god, it's just so crazy. I did not expect this. And just, like, looking back at these screenshots, I'm like, oh my god, did we just really go here? And we did. And I'm so excited for season 2. Like, I get that people didn't enjoy the first part, or some people didn't enjoy the first part, whether, you know, you had problems with the school part, or it wasn't serious enough, or you didn't like the kind of pseudo-romance between Suletta and Girl Boss Stelling. Whatever that is, this episode should convince you season 2 is going to be what you're wanting, probably. Sure, some of it may still not be there, but anyone who was saying this isn't Gundam, girl, you're wrong. But anyway, this is such a good episode, oh my god. Yeah, so I'm sorry this was like 20 minutes, but so hype, so much to talk about. It's so good. Go watch it. If you haven't watched it, why did you watch this? Seriously. If you haven't watched the series and I spoiled this for you, I'm sorry, but go watch it. Like, this is so good. This is way more than the prologue. Like, the prologue was pretty desperate, but like just some of the tone deafness, or the, you know, the contrasting tones of like Lady Prospera, or in this instance Suletta, in the real gravity of the situation. Chef's kiss. It is just like, it adds that little bit of Gundam craziness to what the prologue probably needed. But anyway, those are my just pure off the top of my head crazy hype thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below how you felt about it, if you liked this, if Suletta is #psychopath now. And I'll see you next time.